I was muted. We're live now?
I think we're live.
Yeah, so now we're in Zoom, just so you could know what's going on. Now we're in Zoom. No one cares.
No one cares.
We're gonna introduce, but can they see the original cast already, or am I about to bring them in? I don't even know.
They can see them.
They can already see them. Hi, everyone. So it's Blake DeLong, Gelsey Bell, Monica Choksi, Brittain, Ashford, Phillipa Sue, and Amber Gray are all with us, all of who were in the original 2012 Great Comet.
Woo-woo!
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
This is why I agreed to do this. I knew the torture would be worth it. Okay, I have many questions for you all, but I just want to start with a popcorn and just words, images, initial memories, and then I'll ask for some more treasured moments later. But go.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that tiny room. That tiny, so intimate, beautiful little room. I'll never forget that space. You guys, that was my first job in New York.
That's what Ars Nova does.
Yes. Be my first job.
You really nailed it. You did a really good job.
That second job was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Phillipa, you
I remember.
Oh yeah, go Monica.
I was going to say the audition, singing with you, Dave, and being like, "Oh, the writer's going to sing with me. That's strange. All right, this could be fun." And then going with Phillipa to get some tea and biscuits after that first audition. We're like, "That musical was cool. It's a little weird. I wonder what that'll be like." Another day in auditioning.
We ran into each other at the audition. We're like, "Hey, let's take tea."
Yeah, and Blake was there and Amber. And I thought, oh, I guess everybody who auditioned for this play got in.
Yeah, this is like a very desperate.
So. Yeah. And some people who didn't audition.
No. God.
Monica, I remember, Monica, that you auditioned for both Dolokhov and for Volkansky, right? Because I have a very clear memory of you singing the beginning of The Private Intimate Life of the House, and you just had this very weird take on Old Man Volkansky. It was very just I look around, I'm doing this. It was very measured. It still creeps me out. I have nightmares about it.
I thought of just a super old skeleton of a man. I think I was making a weird skeleton face
Blake, did you and Monica ever trade old Volkanskys?
I don't think this is the first time I'm learning that auditioned for Volkansky. I didn't know.
I was also auditioning for Balaga.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know who else auditioned for Balaga was a very young ponytailed Or Matthias.
No kidding.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I hope that's all right to say.
That is great.
Amber.
Yeah.
What's your favorite or strangest, and you could have two, memory of the Ars Nova run? Because there were so many steps in the journey.
Oh. Gosh, I just don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think, I do have a memory because, back in the day, they had those little teeny shot glasses that lived on the tables, but then our prop shot glasses were also on the table, which were significantly larger and filled with water. And lots of times audience members would drink our water and then feel bad and then fill it with vodka. So I actually I have very boozy memories of doing some of those shows, which was great. And I got very good at pretending water. I got really good at how to pretend that water was burning my throat, because some nights it really did.
Something maybe not everyone knows at home is that in the Ars Nova run, the vodka was free. We literally had bottles of Tito's vodka on every table. And so it was just a very boozy run. And I have such strong memories of as soon as the show was done, I would just be going from table to table, finding leftover vodka, especially during tech previews and just,
sure. Thank you, Tito's also, which sponsored basically that whole run, and Costco, I believe, which did not sponsor it, but was the source of the dumplings.
Oh.
Dumplings.
Right.
Guys, not
How
to
about
be,
you,
not
Blake?
to be
Yeah.
sentimental, but in terms of memories, the thing that sticks out to me the most is the day that we ran through the show, the whole thing for the first time upstairs. And when we got to the end and we sang The Great Comet, and it was intense. I mean, everyone was crying and we were like, holy shit, this thing is heavy, man. This is super good, right? We were all kind of like, I remember like leaving that day being like, it's really fucking good, right? Or are we just crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
That pencil space, that loft up there was so great. It was so beautiful. It was so nice to go there every day and rehearse in a room with windows and
with all that tape on the floor. Like, where am I? I'm on a platform, but I'm also in his lap, and I don't understand.
Together
Oh,
with
right. Yeah, I'm trying to
chairs.
remember. Did we like have very little time on the stage before we had an audience in there? I know that's the way it was with all the other times we did it, but it's vaguely coming back to me how disoriented like the first run through in the space was up above everyone running around.
Yeah, and
Mimi
Mimi and I hadn't. Yeah, we hadn't worked too hard to try to make people understand how the space would actually function, because it seemed clear that you would choose to stay on the runway versus step off the runway.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you had to run under the whole, building to make different entrances, and we had no idea what that meant upstairs.
Brittain, do you have like do you remember in particular like audience interactions or any things that came up for the run for you?
In the Ars run, not so much the audience interaction, though I was thinking, we were talking about like Amber was saying like the vodka on the tables, like God help anyone who had like family or very dear friends who came and perhaps overindulged. And then after the show, was always like a moment where you're like, okay. But actually I had nothing but positive interactions in the Ars Nova run, even though it was very unfamiliar. Like for me to be like, okay, I'm in this costume when I'm doing this thing, and like, okay, like, and now I'm gonna like look at you. But I feel also my character maybe had like the least of that. But maybe I'm wrong in thinking about it. Like, but I love like afterwards, to interact with someone that was just like right there, that's like full of vodka, which felt unique to the Ars run because it was free.
Yeah, well, that's a good setup. So, okay, so for those who don't know, the Ars run was in the fall of 2012. And then the first tent, thank you. What does that say,
This is the shot glass that Ars Nova gave us as a gift on opening night. It's hard to see because it's transparent. It's red. I don't know how to make you see it.
Will you just tell us what date it says on it?
It says October 16th, 2012.
Yeah.
In Oxford, comma?
Yeah. So then, okay, so wait. So then we go to the tent. What are y'all's like memories or senses? Maybe Gelsey, we'll start with you, of like how the experience in performing the show evolved over the course from Ars to the tent, the infamous casino. And you can feel free to go beyond.
Yeah, indeed. The space just kept getting bigger. And then there just kept being more people. There's so many ways that affects things. I mean, in terms of the audience interaction, it always, like for me, it always had to stay. Even when we went to Broadway, it's just like, this is the one audience member I'm interacting with. That has to be exactly the way it was in Ars Nova. But part of it is that the sound of the audience, when they clap, when they laugh, when they cry, like as the audiences got bigger and bigger, that sound changed, and that meant like my emotional reaction to the audience itself changed. That's the thing that I think about as it progressed.
Gelsey, you just reminded me when you said how we kept adding more people. I just got reminded of like how the band at Ars Nova was actually a lot smaller.
Oh yeah, the cast just kept getting bigger too. Totally.
And the ensemble, but also the band. You had a significantly large keyboard part at Ars Nova.
Yeah.
And I'm remembering also that then when I left the pit, like we didn't have Oramatias or a music, I was the music director. And so Paul Pinto, Balaga, came in and played piano for the last 20 minutes of the show. And now I'm remembering too that Amber, you played drums, right?
I played drums too.
And you played drums too.
I also
Monica played drums.
I also played the accordion.
The only one who was
And glockenspiel.
I was like, so like, what else can I play? And they're like, no, you are Natasha. There's like,
But you were in the club. That was a big deal.
Oh, that was a big deal.
Remember
right?
when I ruined the performance that one night?
I do.
Well, and
we had to stop because I hit the space bar.
Oh yes.
Wait, Blake, for those who
with press in the house. I thought I was getting fired. I was 100% sure I was getting fired that night. And
for those who don't know what the space bar is, will you tell the story DJ Andre 3000 in a little bit more depth?
Well, I had to be the DJ. I think I was always the DJ, even through the casino stuff. But at Ars Nova, I actually had to on Dave's personal laptop. I had to press the space bar to advance the cues through the whole club section, and I had to do them at the right moment. And I got very excited one night in previews, really into my interpretation of my DJ character, and I actually hit the space bar too early, and we went from something very cool and happy to boom, boom, and we couldn't get out.
Well, I remember very specifically what the cue was, because like the cue that was supposed to go into Dolokhov singing "Here's to the Health of Married Women," but instead it went to the cue after that, which is after "So let's begin. This is Child's Play." It's just like this drone of just and Monica is trying his best, being a good actor, and he's going
with it.
"Here's to the health of," with just this drone.
And then we did a really slow, like, "Here's to the health."
Oh yeah.
And then Amber looks at me and she's like, "All right, here's to the health." And we got like 2 or 3 more times before we were like,
still in the field with my gold jacket and my sunglasses, and I was like, it was such a disaster. And I went downstairs because I was done, and I waited for intermission.
Well, I came down because I got shot still, and then I came down and found you just inconsolable. I think your head was back in the book.
Dave stopped the whole play and was like, "We have to back up and restart." So we restarted. The audience was so lovely about it. Everything was great.
Always the right choice.
And then I went downstairs, and I was 100% sure I was getting fired. And then Rachel and Dave came down at intermission, and they were so nice. They were so chill. They were like, "It's fine. We did it. It's good. No problem." I couldn't believe it.
Well, but then it wasn't the next night that we had to stop again, and then Pippa's dad came to the rescue.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Is there
a doctor in the house?
And she was like, "My dad's a doctor."
Unfortunate.
I totally forgot about that one.
Wait, Pippa, you go.
Well, I was just gonna say there was a really unfortunate situation where, so the banquettes and all of the like larger tables still existed, and so like sometimes you'd get like one party at one end of the table and then like another party at the other end. And my family came that night, and my dad was sitting at the large banquet, and I remember it was like, what if it was Natasha Lost? Was that it was like
it might have been, yeah.
Oh no, it was during Anatole and Natasha, because then Lucas brought us back in a half hour later.
Yes, and there was a poor woman who fainted in her seat, and we had to stop, and the stage manager was like, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And my dad literally like caught this woman who fainted and was like, "I'm a doctor." And
actually, it was Pippa who said, "My father's a doctor." Yeah. There was an audience member who was like, "Is there a doctor?" After he was already tending to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Pippa's always got things under control.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, speaking of Pippa having things under control, I want to go to one of my favorite memories from like the entire Comet process, which was actually during Casino rehearsal, which I'm sure all of us remember was about 10 to 12 weeks long, because we didn't know where we were going when we started rehearsal. So we rehearsed endlessly. We just kept doing it, and like we would do runs with all the understudies in different permutations. But it was during that time that a new song, No One Else, came into the room. And I wondered if Phillipa, you would say a little bit about that day, if you remember it, and like first time hearing that song.
I'm pretty sure that I started crying when I heard that song. I mean, didn't I send you an email, Dave?
Yeah, so I mean that song was so much based on emails between you and me. Because so again, for people who know, at Ars Nova, where no one else currently is in the show, there was a different song called If He Were Here Now, which was like a very like sweet, dear little chestnut of a song, and it was fine and lovely, but it just wasn't quite like the aria that Natasha really needed, and I just like didn't know it at the time. And then when we finished the Ars Nova run, you read War and Peace during the run, is that right?
So I read it. I started reading it between the runs because I was like, okay, well, we're only gonna do this now, so I better read the book. So, so I was reading it, and I remember I think I remember writing like, I just remember the scene where Natasha's like staring out at her window, and I'm imagining in my mind like Andre is like in another window, in like if this is like the movie version, like we've got a shot of like Natasha like looking out the window, the moon is shining on her face, and there's Andre like in the window, like right above her, like doing the same thing, you know. Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
isn't he playing guitar, or are you like Natasha hears guitars?
Yeah, out the window. And I was like, Dave, I really like this part of the book. You know, I just think it's so magical. I love the moon. Yeah, I don't even know where that email is. I tried finding it once.
Oh, I probably have it somewhere. Because I remember it was both about that scene with the moon, but you also were just talking about how, like, what a philosopher Natasha is, and just like pointing at some other sections of the book where she's talking to, you know, other family members about just like her feelings about love and God and life and just all those things that I remember. Like, you like gave me some page numbers, and I like went through all that stuff, and so all those lyrics came from places that you pointed me to. And I actually have,
Dave, we're about to have to bid farewell to these people. And so I want to know if there was like any last things that you were hoping to say, any of you.
I love you guys.
Yeah, love you all.
Love you.
When I think about that time, like just a unique collection of people who all were just making something that they cared about, not knowing if it would be received in the same way, but just trusting that like I connected this as a human and other humans are going to be in the room. And I feel like to see everybody like blossom since then in new ways, in part because of these collisions of people, like I just think about that Ars Nova like hothouse of artistic creativity and trust and humanity, and where the like trees that have grown out of there, so much more than just this great play that continued and continues to have a life. Even more than that are all the plays everybody else is making now, that where that Comet mentality is like deep in the DNA. So I have to thank also Dave, you, and Rachel, you, for like seeing something in all of us to like be a part of this soil to rake, as Aeneas Mitchell says. You know.
Beautiful.
It's a treasured experience for sure.
Never forget it. Never.
Forever, yeah.
Oh, I love you all.
Love you.
Thanks for joining us for this leg of the journey. I wish we could hang out all night.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. I'm going to be watching this thing after Kaya goes down.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my Tito's.
Okay, we'll start texting.
Yeah,
yeah.
Good.
Are you all in New York? Brittain, you're not in New York. I know you're in, but where is everyone else?
Bed-Stuy. I'm a block away from you, Dave.
Well, that ain't even.
I'm in the house.
The Zoom is coming from.
I'm coming down your chimney later.
Blake, where are you? Your mise-en-scene is incredible.
It's my house.
You're just in New York.
This is my house in Park Slope.
Looks great. You got
Thanks,
the tree,
man.
the couch,
Thanks, buddy.
sidearm.
All right, so David.
I'm sorry, should I be looking at this? I don't know where.
You should be looking at the script because that's part of our jobs.
This is a quick. Oh, is that where? But I'm waiting. I was waiting for everyone to go away. Is everyone gonna? Are they gonna
So
make?
do we go away now? We go.
You go away, and we love you.
We love you so much. Oh my God, they're leaving one by one. It's like you're just watching them all fall and disappear. Pippa's the only one left. Now Pippa's gone too. So now it's just us. It's just you and me again. So now
Just us.
I say like the official stuff now, right?